Very good morning to all the fans tuning in. We're back live with match day 8, match number 22, as Mohun Bagan Super Giants are ready to take on Dempo Sports Club. Right on top of the pile at the moment are Mohun Bagan Super Giants. We've played 3 games, won all 3 on 9 points at the moment. And Dempo will have to win this one to stay in contention. We've played 3, won one single game, have lost 1, have drawn 1. It's going to be a very crucial encounter. Mohun Bagan Super Giant would want to make sure try and win this game and just make it absolutely sure for the next round. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds for the next 90 minutes. One thing's for sure, it's going to be a humdinger of a contest. Both the sides will be ready to go, will be ready to give it all and leave it on the pitch. A very good morning to all the fans who have tuned in. Coming to you live from the Reliance Corporate Park here in Navi Mumbai. This is the national group stage of the RFDL 2024-25 season. Group B fixture with Mohun Bagan right on top in the standings. They are followed by Muthoot FA, Classic Football Academy, Dempo, Srindi Deccan and Mumbai City FC, who are trailing at the bottom. As always, it's going to be 3 games today. We've got another fixture lined up at 4 p.m. Mumbai City FC up against Classic Football Academy, and then followed by Muthoot FA up against Srindi Deccan. Outcome, the two sides, Mohun Bagan Super Giant in their maroon and green, Dempo in their all white.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Top the table in the regional qualifiers, finished second in the zonal group stage. Mohun Bagan up against a team who have topped the regionals as well as the zonal stages, but at the moment are struggling to make an impact with just 4 points from the 3 games they have played. 5 points is the difference between these two sides. The refereeing contingent would be led by Manbir Singh. Murray Muthu and Atul More would be his assistants. Rushikesh Rangarao Misale would be the 4th official for this game. A lot at stake for Dempo Sports Club. Still waiting for the 2 captains to join in. Siren for Dempo. And here's Amandeep. It's a pretty solid back line for Mohun Bagan with Amandeep's presence. He had a good game last time around. Siren marshaled his troops really well and made some decent decisive decisions in the back four. Here's how Mohun Bagan Supergiant start this one. Sahil Namdar, Seto Kom, Ningobam Singh, Loitambam Singh, Vian Vine, Lekopam Singh, Pasan Tamang, Umar Mukhtar, Tumsol Tongsin, Priyansh Dubey, and Seminlal Haukib. And the substitutes Tushar, Waifi, Nishar, Livan, Sandeep Palik, Marshall Kisku, Tapan Helder, and Pabitra Mandi. For Dempo Sports Club, Arnold Oliveira, Siren Rahul Peter, Pratik Nayak, Asmon Vilanco, Sergio Stennis, Murphy Fernandez, Swavel Furtado, Myrick Hilario. And those starting out on the bench, Shreyas Malik, Mevin Sean, Fervino, Topan, Nazarian, Anish, Peter Aston, Jordan Borges, and Dolvin. The final prayer before they go all out against a very solid Mohun Bagan Supergiant side. Been unbeaten so far. Dempo, from their perspective, would want to start early, want to start on a bright note here. And off we go here at the Reliance Corporate Park. Played the last game against Classic Football Academy and went down by 2-0 in that fixture. And that is something they would be absolutely confident to try and turn things around. Has played against Srinidhi Deccan, Mohun Bagan Supergiants, and got home pretty easy in the end. Tongsin getting on the score sheet in the first quarter and shoot from the spot for Seto Kom. The first corner, easily held. There's Mohun Bagan Supergiants. The flag was up. And Dempo has got Rahul Rodriguez, Pratik Nayak, Stennis, and Siren who play in the back line. There's Murphy who's slotted in, and so is Cristiano Furtado. And it's a pretty assured back line for Mohun Bagan. Conceded only twice in the national group stage. Again, swift feet, brilliant movement. Not getting the final ball right on that occasion. Presses the shout. And they get the ball eventually. Pasan Tamang operating from the left. Here's Dempo. And Sergio, that's a bit sloppy from him. Not being able to keep the ball. Seto Kom, Vian Vinay, who are the front two for Mohun Bagan Supergiant. Sergio and Vilanco had a decent game against CFA and operated from the flanks. And Sibajit in the center, playing a high line, pushes towards Sibajit. Yes, Pasang. There's a bit of a push from the back. It rolls out for a throw-in. He's got the armband. As always, Amandeep. He takes a deflection and heads out. Back with Amandeep. Here's Sibajit. The keeper, Priyansh Dubey, gets it away. He's outnumbered in the center of the park, but still has managed to get the ball. Sibajit, again having numerical advantage in that corner. Here's Dempo, the outside of his right foot. And swept out by a green and maroon shirt. They've got Tyson Singh, Tong Sin, Sibajit, and Pasan Tamang, who are in the midfield. Mohun Bagan. It's a very solid midfield you've got. There's Dempo. And straight at Priyansh Dubey. And opened up nicely for him. Wasn't going to trouble the goalkeeper from there on. Under pressure from Sergio. Here's another look at it. Pratik Nayak fancying his chance. You can do that all day long. Priyansh Dubey. And trying to disentangle himself. Back with Pratik. A simple ball forward. Sergio gets dispossessed by Amandeep. And knocked out by Murphy. Being played with quite a bit of intensity in the first 6 minutes. No clear-cut chances created, but and trying to win all those 50-50 battles. Here's Amandeep. Fortuitously finds Mohun Bagan. Here they come. And Sibajit goes sideways. Here's Amandeep. Lifts it into the final third. Pushed out. Here's Murphy. Searching for it and has to go back. And the back three turns into a back two the moment they get the ball. Nexon. Dropped in deep to try and link it up. Back with Amandeep. Lobs it forward. Pushes it towards Pashang. Does well to keep the ball in. And a tackle. Was he slightly late? Doesn't say anything on that occasion. The ref then nicks it back. Here's Vinay. Gets it away from Pratik. Vinay looks up. He's trying to go towards his right. But Vinay was right up there. Sergio, beg your pardon. Playing a high line now, Mohun Bagan. We'll see more of those through balls, those lobs coming into the final third. Myrick. He's got Vilanco towards the right, Sergio towards the left. He's going to try and pick out a long ball forward. Again, clearly outnumbered in the center of the park. Here's Mohun Bagan through Amandeep, who lays it off forward for Pasan Tamang. Backtracking. Vilanco wins it back. And that's going to be a foul and a free kick for Mohun Bagan. Hangson. Yes, Sibajit. There's a high press from Dempo. And that hasn't stopped Mohun Bagan from playing a high line. Here's Engson. He's trying to lay it off. And floated forward. This is a delightful ball as he stayed onside. And brilliantly done by Priyansh Dubey. That was a glorious opportunity for Dempo to go a goal up. Delightful ball forward. Carving the entire back line out. We've been talking so much about Mohun Bagan Super Giants defense. They've conceded only 2 in the zonal group stage. The national group stage, beg your pardon. Early signs from Dempo. Here's Passan still giving it a chase. He keeps it in, looks up, pushes back towards Amandeep, who floats another one towards the far side. 10 minutes into the game. Deadlock yet to be broken. A delightful through ball. And here's Cristiano. Back with Mohun Bagan. And that's going to be a corner. And as always, it's going to be Sivajit Singh who will take his position right on top of the mark. Has got bodies coming in forward. Vian Winnie has taken his position just outside the box. There's Serto Combe Tongsin. Here goes Sibajit. Lofted towards the back. A shot comes in from Amandeep on the follow-up. Umar Mukhtar. A teasing shot towards the target. Nothing venomous. And does well. Vilanko trying to link it up. Cristiano is made to go back. Here's Haswan. Prateek scans the field and goes back. Rahul. A crossfield pass towards the other side. Pasang performing his defensive duties. Here comes Prateek Naik once again. He's making it a habit to try and get himself into the final third. Here's Vilanko. Prateek dives for it and doesn't come up with anything. Again, the ball finds Dempo and swiftly dispossessed. Here's Tongsin. Squares up! Oh, just wide of the target. He went for the shot there, Serto Combe. And chases after it and didn't quite catch it clean. And the angle was always going to be tight. This is Prateek. Again, paces it forward. Cristiano. Namandeep gets the better of him. The push forward was dealt well by Prateek. Once again, here's Vilanko. And targets. I'm pretty sure the back post was a target. It was an incoming run from Sergio. But the ball evades the man in the white shirt. Here's Engson. There's been a very controlled aggression from both the sides. In between, Dempo has found a delightful ball. Mohun Bagan trying to work things around. Here's Dempo meanwhile and trying to set up something from the left. It was well read, well intercepted. Umar Mukhtar. I'm pretty sure Tongsin was the target there. Pratik. Direct pass towards Velenko. Velenko with the cross towards the back post. And that's going to be a free kick. A goal kick eventually. He's finding those crosses now, Velenko, and that's something he keeps doing pretty well right throughout. He's very good defensively as well. It's going to be a very good contest between the likes of Amandeep, Pasant Tamang when he drops in deep, and Velenko. Here's Engson. And Sivajit has got a lot of space. And there you see, he's scanning pretty swiftly and trying to get players into the right sort of spaces. Mohun Bagan nicks it back. Again pushing forward. Not getting the final ball right. There was Tongson in there and a couple of green and maroon shirts waiting inside the box. First quarter, intensity pretty much there, but not clear-cut chances. There was one decent opportunity created by Dempo, finding the goalkeeper. Here's Rahul. A build-up from the back. And goes sideways this time. And obviating the monotony of getting those forward balls from the right flank. Shifted towards the left. Priyansh Dubey has had a very good campaign so far. 4 clean sheets in the regional qualifiers. Here's Dempo, meanwhile, inside the penalty area. Nothing says the ref. The appeal was probably for a handball. It's going to be a corner for Dempo. An opportunity to try and test that back line, put some pressure on Mohun Bagan. He's had a very good campaign, Priyansh Dubey, in between the sticks. 4 clean sheets in the 5 games in the regional qualifiers, 3 in the 8 games in the zonal group stage, and has got 1 clean sheet in the national group stage. Just the sort of performance you would want before you enter the national championship round. Here comes Mohun Bagan, meanwhile, defense to attack in a blink of an eye. Here's Engson. Lays it forward, and that's going to be a free kick. Wasn't allowing him to turn, but in the end conceding a foul there. And having a word with Asman Meron. And Sibajit, Tyson, both capable from here on. Can they try and set it up? 18 minutes into the first half, and we haven't seen a clear-cut opportunity from Mohun Bagan so far. And Sibajit goes straight towards the target, and Myrick, an easy collection in the end. And straight down to Sibajit. He's got Engson towards his left. Here comes Engson. Marching forward, floats it towards Pasan. Dribbles across. Pratik does well. Swept out by White Shirt in the end. Again goes long. Mamandeep. Pasang. A lot of space ahead of him. Marches forward. Gets it back from VN. There's going to be a foul. Crossfield pass. Here's Dempo. Trying to put some pressure in that build-up. Not allowing them to get off their tracks. Again lifts it forward. Was missed out. Here comes Dempo. Takes a strike. Oh, what a miss that was. An error in the back line provided an opportunity for Dempo. And they have grabbed with both hands. Cristiano Furtado on the score sheet, and Dempo have finally broken the deadlock. They go a goal up. Not managing to get the clearance right was Amandeep. Agony for one side, ecstasy for the other. Instinct takes over and the skill reacts. Was rightly placed. Now then, that will definitely change the complexion of the game. Can Dempo try and exploit the situation here? Here's Zengson. Amandeep lofts it forward. Will we see a bit of a spur to the stride of the Dempo players? They should definitely have their tails up now. They've created one chance inside the first 10 minutes. And now they have managed to score in the next 10. Here's Amandeep. He'll have to try and get it out of his system as soon as possible. Focus on the next ball. Here's Subajit. And chips it towards the far right. Has got options waiting inside the box. Defending in numbers in 6s and 7s are Dempo. And swept away, but finds Subajit. Again, not being on the same wavelength there. They won one game, lost one, and have drawn one so far. And it's going to be a massive result if it stays the way it is. A huge, huge moment in the game. Dempo play Muturefe on the last day of the national group stage. And Mohun Bagan will be up against Classic Football Academy. Got all the settings of a magnificent finish to the national group stage. Again, pressing the build-up. Here's Pasang Tamang, who's dropped in deep to try and get it forward. Here's Pasang marching forward, has got Vian towards his left. Here's Vian, takes a touch, lofts it forward into the box. The second ball was a shout, but the ball finds a green and maroon shirt, and they have managed to squeeze a free kick out of it. This is definitely in the range for Sibajit as well as Toyson. Who's going to strike this? They've got Tyson Singh. Fancies with his left. Sibajit. Deep breath. Sibajit or Tyson. Sibajit lifts it over towards the target and goes well over. He'll have to try and keep it on the target, make the goalkeeper work. Hasn't been called into action much in the first 25 minutes here. Myrick. Playing swift short passes. Mohun Bagan is trying to release the man towards the right. Putting too much weight behind that one is Serto Combe. He's operating more from the right flank. They have the numerical advantage to try and pin the back line. But here comes Dempo. He's got a lot of space ahead of him. Drills it forward. Velenko, but Murphy was flagged offside there. There's Cristiano was flagged offside. As Murphy is operating a bit more centrally. Cristiano Furtado, the goal scorer, making those runs towards the right channel. Coming from the inside. Jamshedpur slotted against FC Goa the other night. Going absolutely great guns. Jamshedpur. It was 3-3 for them. And they saw FC Goa in their fourth fixture. It's completely one-sided affair. Losing that game by 4-0. Zamandeep slides it forward. Vian Vinay is dropped in deep for the collection. Hengson pushes it back towards Zamandeep. Zamandeep doesn't find space to go forward. Here's Sahil. Sibajit back with Harmandeep once again. Scans. Finds some space to deliver it forward. It's going to be a water break. And a minute or two for Mohun Bagan Supergiant to reflect on the performance in the first 27 minutes. And here's how it panned out. Not getting the clearance. Not quite sure if just wanted to have a blast at it, belted outside the playing area. And there you go. Cristiano Furtado at the 20th minute mark, getting his side in front. Will we get a repost from Mohun Bagan Supergiant? Can they try and bounce back from this situation? They've done it in the past. Can they do it all over again? He'll have to try and get it out of his system as soon as possible. Amandeep. It's not easy. Here's Tyson. Tyson was under pressure from behind and lofts it inside. And Myrick bounces onto that one. And shifted wide towards the left and it was lifted inside for Setocombe to try and get to the end of it. And before he could do so, Myrick making sure he latches onto the ball. Staggered line in their own third. Again to try and get that build-up play right. We still haven't seen the likes of Setocombe on the ball as much as they would have ideally liked. Doubling up on the numbers, Cristiano wins it back, squares it towards Murphy. Has got an option making that run towards the left side. It was a well-weighted ball. Priyansh Dubey was the first one to get to the end of it. Here's Mohun Bagan. Can they try and bring it forward now? In the second quarter, Dempo have grown in confidence post that first goal from Cristiano Furtado. Here's Amandeep. And Tyson was shifted towards the left side and swapped out places with Pasan Tamang. Sibajit finds Vian. Here's Tyson. And Velanco just knocks it out. Here's Sibajit. He couldn't quite go past a wide shirt there. Here comes Dempo. They've got an advantage. Trying to get bodies forward. Lays it that into that open space towards the far right. Here's Cristiano. Still Cristiano lifts it inside. And Murphy was standing just outside the box. Decides to go for the goal. Looks like it was Prateek Nair who eventually got the ball from Cristiano. Lobs forward. And Vian Vinay has been flagged offside. He's floating from left to right, Vian Vinay. And what that has done is it has got Setocombe a bit more central. Trying to create the problem of identification for that back line of Dempo. But so far, they haven't been deterred. Here comes Dempo once again. Gets it inside the penalty area. And Umar Mukhtar does the mopping work. Here's Mohun Bagan now. Get dispossessed. Here's Rahul. Takes it, turns. The song with his defensive work. They're putting in the work rate. Mohun Bagan. Shifts it towards the right. Again swept back. Here's Engson. Room forward. Engson from the distance gets it blocked. Here's Pasang. This is lobbed inside and not effective enough. They had a couple of options waiting inside the box. Here's Prateek. You can hear from the touchline asking him to carry the ball forward. Here's Velenko. And still Velenko one-on-one with Tyson. Brilliant feed. Goes past Tyson, squares it up inside. And Priyansh Dubey with the collection. Well worked out, well strategized from Dempo. Not being allowed to turn there, Vian Vinay was to go back towards Sibajit, who goes sideways. Brilliantly weighted ball. Here comes Mohun Bagan. Very disciplined backline of Dempo. Read that well, intercepts it. Again, pinning him down in that space. They come out with the ball here, Sibajit. Zamandeep, who's shifted centrally in the back line. Here's Velenko. Prateek. And slide it forward by Engsen, who gets it returned. This time lofted over towards Pasan Tamang, who's still giving it a chase. 2v1 in that corner. And Dempo once again get out with the ball. Here's Arnold. Plays it towards Murphy. Murphy looks up, goes behind. Here's Velenko. Gets himself into a space from wherein he can find the right option. And going behind was the right option on that occasion. And this time belted towards the far left. And ends up overhitting it. Still got 10 minutes left in the normal time in the first half. And Dempo are leading this game by a goal to nil. It's a slender lead, but very effective. It's a huge game for them. Can they try and keep Mohun Bagan at bay? And keep the ball is the shout. Here's Umar Mukhtar. Finds Amandeep, who takes a couple of touches. And paces towards Tyson. Here's Vinay. Goes 360 and finds Sibajit. And Sibajit finds Engsen. And shifts it towards Sertokom, who's dropped in deep now. And lofted inside the penalty area. And swept away this time by Murphy. Not keeping anything to chance there. It's Tyson behind this one. And can they try and create something out of a set piece? Here goes Tyson with an outswinger. Targets the back post. And cleared away this time, but only as far as Sibajit, who slots it towards his right. Lofted inside the penalty area towards the back post. A header. The whistle had gone up against Umar Mukhtar. So it's Jamshedpur and Kickstart who are on the first and the second position, tied on points, separated by the goal difference. On the third spot, it's FC Goa. And Diamond Harbour find themselves at the fourth position. Northeast United and East Bengal on the fifth and sixth spot. And all those teams in Group A have got a game left, which is going to be played the day after. And FC Goa would want to make sure they win that by a considerable margin and give themselves a chance and expect some other results to go their way. Here's Velenko meanwhile. One-on-one with Tyson. Doubling up on the numbers is Sibajit. Has he done well to keep it? No, he hasn't. It's a bit of an anguish as he let that one roll through. For Group B, Mohun Bagan Supergiant, Muthoot FA, Classic Football Academy, Dempo, Srinidhi Deccan and Mumbai City FC. If it stays the way it is at the moment, Dempo will move to the second spot. Having played a game more, push themselves to 7 points. That will get them right behind Mohun Bagan Supergiant. They'll have to believe. Here's Sahil Inamdar. Again, playing a high line. The intent was right, but the execution was lacking on that occasion. Myron, the long ball forward. You've got to be wary of those white shirts lurking for opportunities in the back line. Here's Tyson. Does well to keep it. Again, slides it forward. Here's Vian Vinay. Does well. In fact, goes down on the ground. Prateek Nayak, was he late on that? And there comes the first caution of the game. It's going to be a free kick. Can they try and test out the goalkeeper from here on? He's trying to take on Prateek Nayak there and play the man, not the ball. You can see the frustrations from the touchline. Reaction from those sitting out on the bench. Here's Sibajit. Tyson, who's going to be Sibajit. Targets the back post. The white shirt gets to the end of it first, and this time gets the clearance. Here comes Mohun Bagan. This is Sibajit. And Sibajit finds Amandeep. Here's Tyson. Again, anticipating and getting the interception right, the back line. Good defensive work on display by Dempo. They haven't allowed any sniff for Mohun Bagan to come at them. Goes right onto Amandeep. They all go up in arms as Amandeep has stayed down on the ground. And he reaches out to the pocket, and there comes another card. It's Velenko this time who goes into the ref's books. So 2 cards in as many minutes for Dempo. You've got to be careful. He slides into the ball and into Amandeep. He got the ball though. Only 3 goals scored in the national group stage for Dempo before today. And that has got to change as the game progresses. They'll have to try and get that insurance goal at the earliest. Any opportunity for Mohun Bagan Supergiant from here on, they will grab it with both hands. Right, here's Sibajit. Lofts it in. Pushed out by Myrick. Here's Amandeep now. Chips it towards Tyson. Tyson looks up, checks his shot, push back. There's Subhajit once again. And that goes behind for a goal kick. Still got a minute and a few seconds left in the normal time, plus the stoppages to follow. Here's Subhajit. Again, a high press from Dempo. They do realize the opportunity of winning the ball. Try and put some pressure. It was coming together of those two. Tyson has remained on the ground briefly, but is swiftly back on his feet. Here's Velenko. Subhajit. Hengson. Gets a death flick on that one. But the man is rightly positioned. Again, belted towards the left flank. Sergio is giving it a chase. Gets to the end of it. But was flagged offside the moment he reached for the ball. It's been a very gritty performance from Dempo Sports Club. Came into this game on 4th position with just one victory. They've managed to keep the clean sheet for the first half. It's going to be a free kick for Dempo. They would want to make sure they come out in the second half and carry on with the similar momentum. They haven't given anything away. Lawson takes it on the chest. Oh! He should have hit the target from there on. That was a delightful opportunity. It's Cristiano Furtado who got to the end of it. Controlled it beautifully to bring it down, but couldn't hit the target. That would have changed the halftime talk for both the sides, effectively. Mohun Bagan are lucky that they trailed this game by a goal to nil. And slides it. It's quick to rush to the spot and take things under control. The ref having a word again with Arnold. Umar Mukhtar has been spoken to. Let's calm things down. Into the last 30 seconds of the added on time. Zamandeep has been cut out of those passing lanes. He's been forced to go down the line and sent back straight to where it came from. Here's Cristiano. Stayed onside. Here's Cristiano Furtado. Pushes back for Velenko. Velenko does well. He's trying a reverse pass there and not coming triumphs with this. So there comes the end of the first half. And Dempo find themselves ahead in the contest. The lead after a defensive lapse in the back line presented an opportunity for Cristiano Furtado, who struck it past Priyansh Dubey. And that has been the telling difference in the first set of 45 here at the Reliance Corporate Park. That's the halftime scoreline. Mohun Bagan Supergiant nil, Dempo Sports Club 1. Match number 22 on match day 8. Number 1 in the points table against number 4. And this is how it all started. Shown a bit of intensity in the first quarter. There wasn't many clear-cut opportunities. This was Pratik who had a go at the target. Basant Tamang operated from the left side of the pitch. And this was a very good opportunity. Priyansh Dubey with a save. Umar Mukhtar on the second attempt, not hitting the target. And Seto Kom found a ball into decent space. And then this was the moment, not getting the clearance right. Defensive lapse, and that was struck wide of Priyansh Dubey, who couldn't quite do much to stop that from going in. That was belted, firmly struck into the bottom corner. They've had a few free kicks, a few corners, but in the end, nothing coming into forte, nothing being effective for Mohun Bagan Supergiant. He floated in from right to left via Vinay. And Pratik making sure that the cross never arrives. And just before the half-time, a couple of cards going Dempo Sports Club's way. And this was the second chance. And Cristiano, had he managed to hit the target, could have been a very interesting story. So that's the half-time scoreline. Mohun Bagan Supergiant nil and Dempo Sports Club 1. Here's the half-time stats. Apologies on the ball possession. 9 chances created, 4 on target for Mohun Bagan. 8 chances with 5 on target for Dempo. Almost even Stevens in terms of the tackles. 2 corners to Mohun Bagan, 1 for Dempo, and no offsides in the game so far. It's going to be an interesting second half coming our way. Do stay with us for the next set of 45. Welcome back to the viewers tuning in and those who have stayed with us for the first half. Dempo Sports Club leading this game by a slender margin of a goal. Mohun Bagan Supergiant will have to hit their strides at the earliest with the start of the second half. They haven't been at their fluent best. All that could change. They've got absolute quality going forward. The likes of Vinay Sertokom, Pasan Tamang from wide left and right have made those runs that haven't been clinical. And Dempo would be raring to go, try and complete this game, get themselves down to the second spot. And that's the goal scorer, Cristiano Furtado. Made the most of the defensive error from Amandeep, and off we go with the second half. Mohun Bagan going from left to right on your screens. Is Priyansh. Lost it in the center. Push back. They'll have to try and keep the ball, Dempo. They've got the back four of Rahul, Prateek, Stennis and Siren. And they've looked rock solid. They haven't allowed those crosses to come in. Been a couple of bright moments for Mohun Bagan as well in the first half, but nothing tangible. As Subhajit goes behind to find Priyansh Dubey, rushes it out. Head is colliding. Here's Dempo. Gets dispossessed. Umar Mukhtar trying to pick out a pass down the line, headed back. That will be the first free kick of the second half. And be called forward and spoken to by the ref. He's controlled the game beautifully. Here's Umar Mukhtar under pressure. Again, he's got the deflection. Going to be a throw-in. Sergio towards the left. Vilenko towards the right. They've got a knack for getting those corners in. There's a man still charging forward. He's off his line and lobs forward. Goes wide. The moment he saw that ball played towards the left side, Sergio was making a run. Was off his lines in a flash. Was Priyansh Dubey. Second ball was a shout, and the ball escapes and goes out for a throw-in. Stennis is trying to find Sergio. Gets dispossessed. Here's Engson. Lays it off in front. Not getting the right weight behind that one. Goes all the way back towards Priyansh Dubey. Goes lateral. It takes a touch. Not getting it further forward. Here's Tyson. Looks up, lifts it forward. Gets it into the penalty area. Defense is right up there. Here's Tennis. Getting a long ball forward. And he's reached out to his pocket there, the ref. Looks like there's going to be quite a few changes. A free kick for Dempo. Can they try and set this up? They need that assurance goal at the earliest to try and take this game far away from Mohun Bagan Supergiants' reach. Here's Siren. He's got Sergio taking his position wide towards the left. Here goes Siren. Set up. A header, and the ball listens behind the line for the second one. They have doubled up their lead, Dempo Sports Club. And Mohun Bagan will have to find something special here. From the set piece, a proper setup by the skipper. Dinks it over. Almost unchallenged. Perfectly slotted. Kept it on the target. Priyansh was off his line, and the rest is history. An ebullient Dempo Sports Club side. Here's Sivajit. They've given themselves a chance now, Dempo. Here's Mukhtar. Played it forward. Intercepted by Dempo. Here's Engson. Gets it out of that clutter. Goes back to Sahil Namdar. Push down the line. Takes turns. Finds Engson. Still giving it a chase. Trying to march forward. Here comes Cristiano. One-on-one with Sahil Namdar. And gets a block from Sahil. Here's Toyson. Just knocks it out for Sahil. Went into the ref's books a short while back. Here's Sergio. Again, Sahil backtracking. Sergio goes past him, gets it towards the other side. Goal for Dempo now. It will be curtains. It's going to be a daunting task for Mohun Bagan to try and come back from there on. "52 minutes have been ticked off. Looks like it's going to be a couple of changes for Mohun Bagan Supergiant. Tapan Haldar was in. Three changes in one go. Seto Kom has gone out. Zengsen has been replaced, and so is Pasan Tamang. Some fresh legs being slotted in. Can they be that telling difference in the second half. An easy collection. Livon Castena has come in place of Heng Sen Singh. Tapan Haldar has replaced of course, there's Sandeep Malik, who's out there in the middle as well. Couldn't quite get to the end of it. So 55 minutes into the game, and Dempo have got an assurance goal. Sandeep has come in place of Serto Combe. Hasn't been effective for the entirety of the 54 minutes he's played. Hasn't been the bestest of games for him. Here's Amandeep. Get dispossessed. Still giving it a chase, but the whistle had gone up. They'll have to try and believe Mohun Bagan Supergiant. It's not going to be a humongous of difference to the points table. The top quality side would always want to make sure they win the games going forward. Want to carry that confidence going into the national championship round as well. A draw or a victory is all they need to make themselves through to the next round. Dempo, if it stays the way it is, they're going to breathe slightly easy. And Bagan, they get the clearance right this time. This knocks it forward. And good defensive work from Dempo. Slightly late. The referee rushes to the spot. Relanco has gone out and Maven has come in. Maven Sean Diaz. And there comes the card. It's Pian who's gone into ref's books. A bit of a breather. And still taking his time to get back on his feet. Referee want to make sure has been taken to the side and attended. Rahul Peter Rodriguez, the man. Are in a commanding position at the moment. The next goal is definitely going to decide how this game is going to progress from here on. Can Mohun Bagan find a repost? Confirmation of that yellow card. Vian Vinay booked for that challenge. And here's Siren. He's already provided one for Rahul. Here's Rahul. Chipped in. Priyansh this time. Makes it easy. And belts it forward. Here's Mohun Bagan. Here's Vinay. Spreads it towards the left. Get it inside the penalty area and a very good block. Tapan Halda is trying to unleash himself. Here's Mohun Bagan now. Levan. Man on is the shout. Sandeep finds Tyson, who's been forced out of the final third. Here's Umar Mukhtar. nonchalantly knocked out for a throw-in. Allows a bit of a second to try and restructure the back line for Dempo. Here's Mohun Bagan. Pushed back. And much to the ire of the touchline, that was belted out of the play area. About to hit an hour mark in match number 22. A bit under control now, Dempo. And still giving it their 100%. Pressing high, trying to win those 50-50 balls. Again, there you see the hunger, the grit, the passion. Get it out of that clutter. He wasn't allowed to move forward there. Held in his tracks. Tennis. Not enough questions have been asked of the back line, of the Dempo back line. A couple of chances in the first half. Other than that, nothing substantial has come from Mohun Bagan Supergiant, especially with the first quarter in the second half. Gets it back. Here's Dempo now. And they try and build it out from the back. And decides against it. Launches forward. And Priyansh against Sergio. Releases Tyson. Looks up. Pushes it forward. He's trying to square it up there. Tongson. Back on his feet and lays it off towards a charging Tyson. And Sergio sees it out. A chance and goes wide. There's going to be a corner. Looks like an interference just in the nick of time. That was pulled back and was ferociously struck towards the target by VN Vinay. A set piece, a corner. Can Mohun Bagan make something happen from here? There goes Tyson and targets the back post, a header. And the whistle goes up straight away. They all went up, and so did Myrick. He's come down on the ground and feeling the aftermath of that challenge. As medical help arrives on the center. Still a long way to go in the second half. Can Mohun Bagan Supergiant come back from here on? I'm still feeling for it. And swiftly back on his feet, Myrick. Goes airborne and finds a green and maroon shirt. They've got the numerical advantage in the center of the park. They've got the ball back here. Sergio is trying to drill it through the back line. They've got the possession back. Here's Mohun Bagan again. No time and space allowed on the ball. Here's Dempo marching forward. Here's Sergio. One-on-one against Umar Mukhtar. Takes the strike and goes just over the target. A very decent effort in the end from Sergio. Again, win the ball back pretty swiftly. And get it from the back line towards the center. Again, releasing the man towards the far right. Ends up overhitting it. And time is running out. They'll have to try and get some response now. Mohun Bagan again floated. Again, Sibajit drops in deep. Here's Sandeep Malik. Gets the collection. He's got two wishers in front of him. And a perfectly placed one. Knocks it out. Still not swift enough in terms of the ball movement up the pitch. Mohun Bagan. They've got a lot of possession. All has been on either in the center of the park or in their own half. There's Sergio. Back with Sergio. They're trying to lift it over the back line there. And Cristiano still fighting for it. Right, Dennis with the throw-in. Again, rightly positioned to win those loose balls. Here's Tyson. He's got an overlapping run from the far right. They've got bodies forward. Here's Levan Castenha. Again, that link up not working out between those two. It's going to be all about game management in the last quarter, in the last 20-25 minutes for Dempo. Try and get themselves on the ball. Keep the possession. Here's Myrick. Again, lifted forward. Not managing to keep it in. The ball goes out of the play for another throw-in. Let's play the advantage, ref. Here's Mohun Bagan showing some sense of urgency. Castenha goes and finds Sandeep Malik. This beautiful build-up from Mohun Bagan. Eventually get into the penalty area, but cleared out by the white shirts. Here's Dempo now. Can they try and break out on the counter? Here's Sergio. And the pushback has allowed the defense to get back into where they were. Here's Cristiano, who started the first half from the far right. Has slotted himself towards the left in the second half. One-on-one with Umar Mukhtar. Gets the deflection and goes behind for a corner. Still got 23 minutes left in the second half. A goal scored in the first, a goal scored in the second. Got themselves in a very good position at the moment, our Dempo Sports Club. Cleared out, but only as far as Siren. Takes a touch and continues with his run forward. Again, an interference. Tushar is in. And he has replaced Vian Vinay. He's trying for a layoff. Here comes Mohun Bagan now, trying to charge forward. Gets a decent touch. Goes past the back line. Here's Sandeep Malik. Can he try and go all the way? Was cut down by Rahul Peter Rodriguez. That was a brilliant run from Sandeep. Here's Livan. Back with Sibajit. Takes the touch. Lobs it towards Tyson. One-on-one inside the penalty area. Opens up nicely. Still Mohun Bagan. Takes it on the turn. Goes just over. Brilliant play. It all started from here. Tyson with the cut back. Couldn't quite get the clearance. Takes it and turns, and Thompson couldn't quite get the direction right on that occasion. So Murphy is being taken out. Here's Mohun Bagan trying to build out from the back. Tyson finds Castenha. Here's Mohun Bagan. Takes the strike. Gets a very timely block. Still alive for Mohun Bagan Supergiant. Here's Sibajit. Finds Livan Castenha. And this time gets dispossessed. Can they try and bring it forward? Here's Cristiano. Has been flagged offside. And the ref had to reach out to his pocket once again. There's been 3 yellow cards shown. A couple of them inside the first half, and another one. There's Priyansh Dubey. Again, lofted forward. And Tyson. One-on-one against Stennis. Stennis gets the ball. It's all about ball control now for Dempo. Sivajit backtracking, winning it back. Still trying to find that right moment. And a heavy touch, just letting him down. Allows the defense to collect that. Still with Mohun Bagan, launched inside the penalty area. In fact, goes well over. And 74 minutes have been kicked off as we enter the last quarter of the second half. Dempo in a commanding position with a 2-goal cushion. Mohun Bagan Supergiant struggled to make that difference in the final third. Here's Tyson once again. Again knocked out for a throw-in. And that's going to be a drinks break, a bit of a breather, and some strategies to be discussed. Mohun Bagan are in dire need of it. They've made all the sort of changes. There's Mevan Sean Diaz who's in. And there you have it. Still trying to pump up the players. Rightly so. They've won 3 out of 3 games before this one. Still right on top of the table. But victory for Dempo would get themselves to 7 points, just behind Mohun Bagan. It's all in the making of a very good final day. And Dempo play Moturefe. It's a 4 p.m. kickoff on the 5th of April. The last game of the national group stage. And that will be between Mohun Bagan Supergiant and Classic Football Academy. Will be another humdinger of a contest. Is he going to keep it short? Tyson. Has got multiple options waiting inside the penalty area. Lofted towards the back post, a header. Doesn't quite catch it clean. Sent back in. And sent out exactly in the same direction where it came from. Dispossessed. Dempo back on the ball. Kane goes airborne. Heading into those open spaces. Not quite sure what the intent was. It was just a clearance. Decent ball forward. Marching ahead. Takes the strike. Spills over. A chance towards the back post, but the defense is the first to reach there. Here's Sandeep. Some space ahead of him. Subhajit trying to find a target towards the far left and dealt with absolute ease. Here's Mohun Bagan. And that's going to be a free kick. Haven't been at their fluid best right throughout. They've had their moments. Haven't come as close as you would have wanted. Priyansh was off his line and gets it cleared this time. Here's Pratik Nayak. I did fancy a chance from outside the box in the first half. Forced Priyansh Dubey to make that save. There's Tyson. Looks up, goes the other way. Probably was anticipating an overlapping run coming in from the far right. And Stennis comes up with the ball. Still pressing. Still hungry. Have got the ball back. Here's Mohun Bagan. Tongson shifts it towards the left. Lofted in. Good defensive work here, Sandeep Malik. Lays it off, nicked away, robbed off the ball. Can they try and come forward? Has he stayed onside? And swept away by Priyansh Dubey. Brilliant work. And he managed to get it. One touch to it. Could have been an attempt towards the goal. Getting into the last 10 minutes, the game and the time is ticking off for Mohun Bagan Super Giants. They have to score at the earliest. They try and get something out of this fixture. Pushes back towards Tennis, who launches forward. Here's Sibajit. Spreads it over to Toynson. Tushar chases after it, keeps the ball in. And knocked out. Stayed onside there. All he had to do was try and get across. Here's Toynson. Gets it inside the penalty area, back post, and a very timely deflection. 10 minutes is the call from the touchline. We'll have to try and up the ante. Amandeep gets it inside the final third. And all those efforts haven't been tangible from Mohun Bagan Super Giants' perspective. They've got themselves on the ball. It's been almost even Stevens in terms of the ball possession, especially when you talk about the second half. But it's what you do with the ball sometimes make that telling difference. Here's another change. Looks like it's going to be Tongsin who will give his place to YP. Score in the zonal group stage, YP against East Bengal. Got their presence in the center of the pitch. Dempo, Mohun Bagan still defending. Looks up, goes the other way. Crossfield pass to find a man towards the far left. Here's Dempo, who get the ball eventually, and the flag was raised. Here's Sahil, Rumar Mukhtar. The back three, back four at times has been changed to back two. They've got an extra cushion in the center of the park to try and win those 50-50 balls. Try and progress in the final third. And on contrary, here's Dempo now. Brilliant footwork as he marches forward and couldn't quite get past those two. I've still got 7 minutes and a thick bit left in the normal time. Sumar Mukhtar, who's gone down on the ground, has been helped out by Sandeep Malik as the medical staff arrives in the center of the park. We've had a very good game. Dempo came into this fixture on the 4th spot in the standings. Almost have got the job done. The first of the 3 games today. The next one at 4 p.m. is going to be Mumbai City FC up against Classic Football Academy. They're yet to register their first win. The results haven't been going their way right throughout in the national group stage for Mumbai City FC. And Classic would be raring to go, ready on the third spot. And then the last game of the day, Muthu Refe up against Srinidhi Deccan. Number 2 versus number 5 at 7 p.m. Sahil is going to give his way. And how keep the man who's made his presence. And here's Mohun Bagan. Again doubling up on the numbers towards the left side. And sweeps it out for another throw-in. It's all about game management from here on. Controlling the ball for Dempo. Looks up. Pushes it forward again. And again drawing a clearance. Here's Tyson. Livon Kestenha. Tongsing Guest is possessed. Here's Tyson. Targets the other side of the pitch. Ends up overhitting it. That's just been the order of the day if you are Mohun Bagan. It hasn't clearly worked in their favour. Wins the ball back. Here's Priyansh. Lays it off for Livon Kestenha. Kestenha chips it as you can hear from the touchline. Not providing the right sort of direction. Says pretty high standards, still not happy. Trying to get those errors corrected, the coach. Here's Tennis. Here's Subajit. YP. Again, not being allowed to progress forward. And trying to pick out a pass towards the left there. He drops it forward. Here's Mohun Bagan. Launches into the penalty area towards the back post. Tyson! He should have hit the target. It was well worked out of her in the end. We'll have to try and test out the goalkeeper from there on. Still got 3 minutes left. Here's Dempo now. Trying to march forward. Squares it up. Sent back by Mohun Bagan. Subajit pushes it out towards his left. Plays it down the line. Tushar picks it up. And again, distraction from the back line. Subajit goes full 360. Finds Sandeep. Here's Sandeep. Lazing off with YP. YP not allowed to turn there. Finds Livon Kestenha. Kestenha, a couple of touches. Goes lateral. Trying to thread a needle. Here's Mohun Bagan once again through to Shar. Pins him into that corner. It's a brilliant result for Dempo. Headed out. In fact, headed behind for a corner. He's going to quickly take this one, Tyson. Is he going to keep it short? They want everybody inside. There's Tyson. Chips it towards the back post. Somebody was gearing to pull the trigger. It's been sent back towards Tyson. We've got some defensive work to do now. Dempo. Wifey picks it up. Launches towards the back post. A header. A white shirt got to the end of it. Here's Sandeep Malik. Sprays it towards his left. Belted down towards Tyson's way. Tyson with a touch. Cuts it back. And goes behind for a corner, I believe. There's been some pressure exerted by Mohun Bagan Supergiant. Just like it has happened for so long in both the halves. Nothing tangible coming up. Here's Mohun Bagan once again. Here's Sibajit. Lays it off for YP. Trying to chip it forward. Dempo come out with the ball. Can they try and keep hold of it? We'll have to wait and see how many minutes will be added on. And 5 minutes has been signaled by the fourth official. It's going to be long 5 minutes if you are Dempo. They will be desperate to wrap this game up and celebrate. It's going to be a huge win in the context of the standings in Group B. Just going to open up the table even further. Put some pressure on the number 3, number 4. Muthoot Football Academy, Classic Football Academy. They would want to make sure they get on the right side of results in their next fixtures. We're still waiting for the throw-in. There's Mohun Bagan. An overhit attempt, and that's going to be another goal kick. Has managed to keep the clean sheet up until this point. Myrick has had a decent game. Wasn't challenged enough. We're going to try and push bodies forward. Keep the ball. Manage the game. See out the last 3.5 minutes. Here's Dempo. Get themselves on the ball. Trying to lay up. He stayed on side. He has. We've got a couple of options waiting inside the penalty area. Takes a touch. Was outnumbered. We've got the ball back. Puts it back. Headed out. And here's Sibajit. Gets the clearance eventually. Here's Mohun Bagan. Gets it out of that clutter and finds Sandeep. Wasn't allowed to turn. Here's a Dempo. Squares it up inside. And Priyansh punches and launches in the air. Tushar wasn't allowed to turn there. It was a pullback in the end. We've conceded a free kick. Half of the injury time has been ticked off. He's reached out to his pocket. I'm not quite sure about who has gone into the ref's books. As Tyson, like he did on so many occasions, stands behind the free kick. Lofts it in. And headed out by a white shirt. Launched in the air again. got a pretty strong squad, but haven't been effective today. The confirmation of that yellow card before the free kick. Siren getting into the ref's books. And that was struck well over by Tyson. He came off his line and punched it forward. That was invitingly placed for a strike from outside the box. He couldn't quite wrap his laces behind that one, did Tyson Singh. The dying embers of the game. Here's Dempo. There comes the overlapping run from the left. And trying to take on Sandeep Malik. And Sandeep pretty swift to it. Here's Tyson. And goes sideways to try and find YP. And Subhajit launches that forward. And Siren with another clearance. Here's Sandeep Malik marching ahead. And Tyson with a cross towards the back post. And there comes the full-time whistle. And it's a brilliant result for Dempo Sports Club. Came into this game on the 4th spot in the points table and have managed to move 2 steps ahead. A goal in the first half, a goal in the second. And eventually they come up with the 3 crucial points up for grab. They've moved themselves to 7 points now from the 4 games played. And Mohun Bagan Supergiants have been a brilliant side in the national group stage. They have to go back to the drawing board for the moment and sort out their defensive strategies. It was a defensive lapse that led to the first goal. And conceded from the set piece in the second half. So that's the full-time scoreline here at the Reliance Corporate Park. Group B fixture between Mohun Bagan Supergiant and Dempo Sports Club. Going Dempo Sports Club's way by 2-0. This is the start of the second half. Rahul getting to the end of a lobbed effort from Siren. Priyansh Dubey was committed to it but couldn't quite get anything behind that one. It was a decent chance but a very timely interference. And Seljo did enjoy his run from the left. And Tyson was finding himself on the ball on a consistent basis, but nothing tangible coming out from Tyson in this fixture. Again scrubbed off the surface. And that effort from Tyson again was lifted over the crossbar. So that's the full-time scoreline. Mohun Bagan Supergiant 0, Dempo Sports Club 2. And this is the stats after the end of the 90 minutes. Ball possession almost even. 14 chances created by Mohun Bagan Supergiants with 8 shots landing on target. 11 chances with 7 shots on target, resulting in 2 goals for Dempo. 15 tackles for Mohun Bagan, 12 to Dempo. 7 corners to the team from Kolkata and 5 to Dempo Sports Club, beg your pardon, and no offsides in the game. So that's the confirmation of the scoreline once again at the full-time mark. Mohun Bagan Supergiant 0, Dempo Sports Club 2. That's been my time here in the commentary box for the 8 a.m. kickoff at the Reliance Corporate Park here in Navi Mumbai. Until we meet again, take care for now. It's goodbye. This is Junaid Ahmed signing off.